All right, joining me for more now is Gerald Knaus. He is the founding chairman of the European Stability Initiative. That's a think tank that has worked extensively on the influx of migrants to Europe. He was one of the architects of the European Union's refugee deal with Turkey. Mr. Knaus, it's good to have you on the program. These holding centers, they aim to bring the steps of the asylum procedure under one roof to speed it up. Is that practical?
Well, I've seen many such centers in other countries where they work. The Netherlands, for example, has a big asylum center in the north of the country, Ter Apel. But what makes it work is that procedures in reality only take a few weeks. People don't stay there longer. So the big question about these centers, the first one of which opened in Bavaria, is are they meant to accelerate, which is a good thing, cooperation of different institutions, including the courts, which in Germany takes a lot of time, or will they become holding centers for those who are rejected for the long term? And that is not a good idea because that will invariably create tensions.
Well, I mean, if I hear you correctly, I mean, it means you have some doubt about whether or not they're working it. And it sounds like then this is just a political tool used by the country's interior minister, Horst Seehofer, who is from Bavaria. Is that what we're talking about here? Is just a political tool to make his constituency happy?
And nobody can be against accelerating asylum procedures, least of all the people who want protection and get protection. The sooner they have a decision, the better. But if these centers are presented as the solution to the problem of returning those who are rejected, then it's a bluff. Because the real problem with returning people who are rejected for asylum is the relations with the countries of origin. And neither Sweden, nor Italy, nor France, nor Germany has solved this problem. Without cooperation by countries of origin, return is impossible.
Right.
And the centers will not change that.
All right, Mr. Knaus, now you say we've got a new way for migrants to get into Europe. Are we going to have to come up with a new deal the way we did with Turkey? I mean, how does Europe deal with this new form of migration?
Well, it would be incredibly helpful if the European Union would have or would now do the things it's been talking about for 3 years. We need two things to solve a crisis like this. The ability to quickly decide who of the people who arrive need protection in Europe and who doesn't. If it takes, like in Italy in recent years, 4 years until a final decision is made, basically, we don't need an asylum system.
Okay,
Anybody who arrives stays.
You need speed.
So we need speed, and we need to organize this in the way the Dutch have, where they decide in 6 weeks, including appeal, but in Spain or Italy or Malta. And this requires a European effort.
Oh.
So that's the first thing.
Okay.
Secondly, once we have a decision, and a lot of the people who are now coming to Spain or who came to Italy are from countries without high recognition rates. Senegal, southern Nigeria, Ivory Coast. These are not countries where a lot of refugees come from. If we would then decide quickly that 1 in 10 gets refugee status, the others don't, then we need agreements with those countries of origin that are in the interest of those countries to work with us. And that requires them to take back their citizens after a fixed date, so it's a limited number. If they do that, less people will come, and in return, we should offer them legal migration quotas.
Yeah, that's a lot to be done in a relatively short amount of time, but I'm sure we'll be talking about that again.
Well, I hope this chance is an opportunity to do it, because Spain wants and needs a solution that is humane and works.
Mr. Gerald Knaus, Director of the European Stability Initiative, we appreciate your insights tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.